Good day, sisters and brothers, One Nation Tribal Alliance community, friends near and far across the pond, brothers and sisters, welcome. Today, I am starting out my video on the 10-day or 10 video um, challenge that I came across that I want to do or I felt like needed to be done. So this will be my way of comeback and to getting everything started again. But I will start out with, one of the things that I guess how I was taught. Now, you got to bear in mind some of the things that I have put on a PowerPoint, which I'm going to present through to y'all, is, you know, went back 55 years ago when I first started. So I had to dust some cobwebs. So bear with me as I go along and explain to you all, some of the things that was shared with me about being spiritual. And I think this is an important start as to see who I really am and to help y'all if you can and take what resonates with you. And you know, if it doesn't resonate with you, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. So anyway, this is my start of my first video. So let me see how I can get this thing started. I got my technical advisor that gave me suggestions, so I hope I listened. Anyway, I know I did. So, all right, here we go. First of all, I want to tell you who I am, basically. You know, but most of y'all know who I am. One Nation Tribal Alliance, and we have a website which is under Healthy and Harmonious Lifestyle.com. So, to start out with, I'm going to tell y'all about spiritual knowledge that was shared with. And as I said before, the elders, one of the first questions that came upon me was that they asked me, "Who are you?" And that in Zuni means Chuapto, Toshkapin Hopi, Abish Toshhopi Yana. And that question is, who are you? Are you the awakened one? Or are you an infinite being? So with that, I started to look into who I am and am I awakened or am I infinite being? And of course, I didn't know at that time what they meant by asking me those questions. So being spiritual, you know, I'm gonna go along and I'm gonna tell you what all was shared with me. But to start answering that question, I had to first look at one thing that they were teaching me and sharing with me, and that is that one, spiritual is three things into one. And I think I have shared this many a times, which means that, we are three things into one thing, which is our mind, body, and soul, which is basically in alchemy, that's the Trinity. And, why do we need to know about our mind, body, and soul? Because three things are like, it's like an automobile. You need cars for the car to roll. You need the car engines to make it go. But then you need the body of the car to protect what's elements are out there for the car. So in spiritual ways, you got to understand your mind, body, and soul to really know who you are, if you are an awakened one or you are an infinite being. Because as we go along in this, it goes higher because I put on a medicine wheel right here beside these questions or these things that were taught to me, because this is basically what we go about on our teachings. But I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm just going to go to you what they were sharing with me. Again, spiritual is three things into one thing. And I had to learn that first. And and the second thing is that spiritual is for those who are awake. And what does that look like? Well, what that looks like is that, the elders knew when they were sharing their knowledge with me if I was paying attention or not. If I was paying attention, they knew I was awakened because I was listening. I was just not hearing them. I was listening to them because I paid attention. And when you want to learn, you have to give your 100% attention to what is being taught to you or shared with you. Not taught, but shared with you, because it's up to you to accept it or let it go, because it's not forced upon you. It's a decision you have to make while you're going through this training. So that, again, they ask me, spiritual is for those who are awake. Now, the other one is spiritual are for those who pay attention, like I said, to your inner voice. We talk about our inner voice. Well, what we really hear? Your inner voice is basically your telepathic communication within yourself, and I give this example many a times, is that when you drive up to a red light and your gas has a quarter of a tank and you got to go to work the rest of the week and you got $10 in your pocket and there's a homeless man sitting right there on the corner having a sign, and your inner voice goes, give him that $10 you have. And you stop and you listen and you say, okay, but you start coming up with excuses saying, I need gas, I need this, I need that. And your inner voice keeps saying, give him that $10. So you have a choice to make. Either you do what your inner voice say, or you do what your mind and your body are saying, because you know what you need, but then he already knows, what the spirit knows what you need to do. But if you follow the spirit, chances are your rewards are up ahead of you. But if you don't, you're not blocking yourself off the reward, but you always say, well, I should have done. You don't want to get to that point. So you have to listen to your inner voice, is what they told me. And because that will be a saving grace for you. Because a lot of times, again, like I said, even as of today, if I get myself in a tough situation, my inner voice will come on and I smell my grandma. I know what my grandma smells like because she used to hold me and hug me, and I picked up her body scent. So if I get myself in a bind, I know my grandma is with me because I could smell her. Nobody else can, but I can. So I'm listening to my inner self. Now, the other one is spiritual, is cause us to discuss everything and question everything. Because if you are being shared the knowledge, there should be nothing kept secret. Secret only goes into organizations because they want to keep that within that organization. Spiritual is you have the freedom to learn, you have the freedom to gain knowledge. So, this is what they mean by, you know, it caused us to discuss everything and question everything, which at times I did. And at times they really broke everything down to where I finally accepted it because of the way it came to me was, this is the reason why this thing happened. And it finally added up as you know, a whole puzzle. Pieces of puzzle made it a picture where I grasped it. Also, now, spiritual gives us inner peace. And by saying inner peace, meaning that when you go to sleep at night, you know what you've done spiritually, that you are at ease. Right or wrong, you are at ease at peace with yourself. You need to be that way from the time you go to bed and when the time you get up. Make peace is, with everything, the creator, mother, the creation, whatever comes in your way, make peace with it so you can make peace with yourself, you know. So also, spiritual allows us to learn from our mistakes. And what does that mean? Spiritual ways is that when you make a mistake, you don't get punished for it. You automatically are told, did you learn from it? And you ask yourself, okay, yes, I did. I learned not to do this. I learned to do it this way, the way I learned. Not my way, but the way I was taught or the way I was told to do, that they did it. So, you know, you have to learn from your mistakes. And, you know, there's no punishment for your mistakes. Learn from it and move on. Spiritual also overcomes everything, bringing you closer to truth. And when I look at that, I say, okay, bringing everything closer to truth. Well, I go back and I say, okay, well, let me see what I am going to do about fasting. And when I'm fasting, I kind of just in the first day, it's okay because I'm not really, you know, in a position to where I have to make a decision right away. But as days go on, the second day gets maybe a little rougher because, you know, pressure is mounting on me to make a decision. And if you allow yourself to make a decision right away, pressure's off of you. You just live with that decision. You support your own thoughts. You're back yourself on your decision where you move forward. Spiritual is everything. Therefore, it's in everything. And what does that mean? Spiritual means everything from what we look at. You know, I would say, I'm going to show you this cup. At one time, it came from Mother Earth. All these things that turned into that cup came from Mother Earth. So in Mother Earth, everything is life. And everything is life in Mother Earth to where whatever we use it for, at one time, spirit was in there. And spirit is still in that cup. And that's why, you know, I'm going to step on ahead a little further. In manifestation, you know, one of the things that I was taught is that when you manifest an object that is from earth, you don't just ask for it, you command it to come to you if it's an object. Now, if it's like creator or mother, then you don't demand, you just respect it, respect the requests that you are seeking. So, if you're going to manifest a new car, you describe that car to a T and you command it to come to you. And that's manifestation. But if you're going to create yourself into a higher vibration, then you connect with respect yourself with mother and father. Remember the Trinity, three things into one thing, and you become one thing, and that will raise you up in a spiritual form. So, that you don't command, you work for that. So, spiritual will question everything. You know, you have to question everything to your understanding, who whoever's sharing the knowledge with you, and don't let it go until you understand everything. Don't just say, okay, I get it, I get it. You don't want to do that because when it comes time for you to do what you need to do, and you just have half the information, you go back and try to get that knowledge back, They may just look at you and say, I thought you understood. So make sure you question everything before you let it go to the next step. Spiritual is also divine. What does that mean? Spiritual being divine is spiritual is not man-made rules. Spiritual divine is not man-made rules, is what they told me. And that's why, when I went back home and they asked me if I was religious, I said, no, I'm spiritual because I don't abide by the rules that they have for each group of organizations that they have over there back home. I seek my answers by connecting to the father and mother. And when I connect, my answers will come to me either through father and mother or my guides or whomever I call upon. So, spiritual is divine without any man made rules. Spiritual also unites. Spiritual unite, meaning that, you know, when you're spiritual, you accept everything and everybody at any cost. You don't have no rules saying, I'm going to gather up these kind of people. I'm going to gather that kind of people. No, you accept everybody because spiritual unites. You know, also being spiritual, you have to seek to believe. So if they tell you, you know, this is out there, say like if they tell you Bigfoot is out there, well, okay, how do you convince yourself what they just told you about Bigfoot being out there? So you start seeking. You don't go in the woods and start looking for him. No, you start seeking within, raising your vibration, raising your energy. So when you get up to the other dimensions, the fourth, the fifth, that's when it'll come to you. It's like the space beings. They're out there. But if you say, no, 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 but if you say, okay, just accept it and start working, you start seeking, and they come to you, and you finally get the truth. You'll be ready for it. Believe me, they will only come if you're ready for it. Not just by, you being out there fasting for 20 days, trying to seek that truth. They're not going to come to you like that. They will come to you when you are ready. Not at your time, but at their time. So, you know, spiritual, you have to seek to believe. Spiritual also feeds trust and faith. You know, if you trust a thing to happen, say like if you trust your energy to heal yourself and you work your vibrations up to where you get to a point to where you believe it that you are healing yourself, your body will react and start healing itself and you'll get yourself healed. Just like if you're a healer, you do that with others. You know, another thing which I am on to is that spiritual is relating to inner self, not only to the inner voice, but to yourself, your spiritual person or spiritual being. You have to, relate not the physical and the spiritual together because mind, body, and soul. Body and soul. Remember in the medicine world, you got to see on the red, I am, and on the black, spirit, I feel, or yeah, I feel. And then when you get to the vibration, you know. So spiritual is relating your inner self to make your trinity. Your mind needs to be convinced when your body and soul work together to go up into your mind to make that higher dimension. So spiritual allows you to get beyond. Beyond meaning that, you know, Christ-like consciousness, beyond the universe, beyond the galaxy, beyond everything. Spirituality teaches you that, or you have to seek within to learn about that. Because when you start to learn that within yourself, remember, it's an infinite thing. So when you know you are descendant and you will ascend as an infinite being, you have to understand that you're unlimited. You're an infinite being, which means you're not just limited to a certain thing. You're not caged up. You're open to everything. Spiritual makes you live in earthly glory and paradise now, meaning that, if you're very spiritual in this Mother Earth, live with glory and like you're in paradise. Don't let anything come in your way of not living with glory and paradise, because every day should be a good day. Every day should be like you're in paradise. Enjoy it. Get outside. Enjoy the sun. Good morning, sun. Good morning, trees. Good morning, grass. Rabbit runs by. Good morning, Mr. Rabbit. You know, enjoy the paradise you're in. You know, it doesn't matter where you are. You are there at the moment, because spiritual living is the present, not the future, not the past, but the present. So you got to understand what spiritual life is all about. When you live for the moment, and because we're not guaranteed tomorrow, and what happened yesterday has happened. Today is another day. When you wake up, it's a new day. So live for the present. Spiritual also frees us, frees our consciousness to where we have unlimited energy, thoughts, whatever we go through, it's unlimited. So spiritual frees your consciousness where you can go over and beyond. Spiritual also makes us aware as infinite beings, you know, not just an earthly being, not, you know, if we do good here, we're going to connect to the next. No, you are already on your way infinite. You're an infinite being when you came to Mother Earth. You're going to be an infinite being when you leave Mother Earth. So you got to understand or believe and be aware that you are infinite, and nothing will stop you or hold you back when you're an infinite being. And which comes to a last one that I'm going to cover on, and that is that spiritual means knowing the Father, Creator, is within us, in our presence, as we are here on Mother Earth, nurturing from Mother Earth. So, we got to understand that's our Holy Trinity, Father, Mother, and us, knowing that they are both within us to where we are, as one. Father, Mother, you are one. So these are some of the things that I'm going to start out by saying what my elders taught me or shared with me, because these are the things that I really try to work on every day. And when I get to it, I get to it. But most of the time, again, we learn from our mistakes. Some of the things that I will do in the future, like I will explain to you, why do I have a spirit bowl? I will explain to you, why do I have sacred cornmeal? I will explain to you. These are the native things that were shared to me. Now, each person will have your own things that you have belief in. But I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'm not going to say, don't do that. I'm not. If it resonates with you and raises your vibration, I would encourage you to continue it because this is the way a spiritual person should be. Is what I was shared with as I was growing up. So I want to just take this time and share this much with you. And if you have any questions, you can contact me. You know how to contact me. And I will continue this. So I love you all. And thank you for hanging in there with me. I love you. Bye bye.